Hi guys and welcome back to my channel Popcorn Reviews. I'm Farhad. If you're new to this channel then please smash that subscribe button now. And we are only five subscribers away from the 1.3k mark, the new goal of our channel. So if you're new, please smash that subscribe button and like the video. And today I am going to be talking about another Malayalam film, the Malayalam film which is called Christy, which is streaming now on Sony Live. And I actually really liked the poster of the film. It did give a good positive vibe to me about what the film is about, and it had been a while since I had watched an out and out romantic film, and that is something that I was looking forward to. That, and it starred Matthew Joseph and Malvika Mohanan, and that I think was a pairing that I was looking forward to as well. I am a fan of especially Matthew Joseph and his filmography. There's a certain sincerity in his performance, and absolutely he does disarm you with his smile. So that is something that I really adored in his filmography and his work. So then, how is Christie? Let's find out. Christie is based on a true story, essentially a story of a teenager who falls in love with his tuition teacher who is divorced. So, will they meet? That is basically the basic storyline. The story here is good, but buried under the shoddy writing that is there. The writing is quite shoddy here, and it just absolutely broke my heart because there was a potential good story in this drama that was there. The screenplay here standing at 2 hours and 20 minutes, it doesn't seem too long, and that is because the first and the second act, they are quite breezy and light, but it is the final act which actually is a bit of a brain fade in the truest sense of the word. It is a brain fade, so much so that it made me angry. It made me angry in a romantic film. It made me angry, and I'll discuss it why. First things first, the title Christie just does not justify what the film is about, because the entire film unfolds from the perspective of the character of Roy, which is played by Matthew Joseph. So I actually had no clue on what Christie is, what is a psyche like, why are her actions so confused, what is a character arc like, nothing at all. And so the title of the film is a fundamental flaw in itself. Coming to the first and the second acts, the first act, it does ring a good vibe to the film. There is this classic world building that is a part of every other Malayalam film, and this too, it is done pretty well. The things are organic between the couple, and the hesitation that is there from one of the characters about confessing his love towards the other character, I think that is very well and aptly shot, and the whole thing just seems so organic. The first awkwardness that is there between the characters to eventually going out together, that I think was well captured in the first half. The second half too was good, although there were a few flaws in the second half, which I'll be saying in a bit. But the second half also had a good vibe. Even the conflict that was introduced was real, and it did feel like, yeah, it is a bit of a conflict that is there. The conflict of distance between the two characters that were there, I think that was, well defined. Although here I did feel, coming to the flaw, is that the character of Christie was giving mixed signals to the character of Roy, and there was no justification for that. I was waiting as to, there would be some reasonable explanation about why things are the way they are, and my wait just continued and continued and continued. I did not feel that character was very well written, which brought me to the final act. The final act is probably the worst, the weakest final act I've seen for a Malayalam film in a while, and that is because the story had potential. It had the way to go one way or the other, but it did not. It just was left hanging, and it angered me. It is one thing that you leave the plot hanging open to interpretation, but it is a totally a criminal offense. Not a criminal offense, I think that's a little too extreme, but it is an issue if you leave the character trait about a character open. I think that is the worst thing that you can do as far as the writing is concerned. You need to have clear character traits, and if there is something that is conflicting in the character, that needs to be established and shown on screen, not left to the audience's imagination as to why that happened. The same thing may not necessarily be true for the plot of a film. A plot of a film can be left open for further interpretation, that is fine, but not the character trait. And there were few subplots also that did not make sense. For example, the entire subplot that was woven around the health of the grandmother that was there, that just did not add up to anything at all. The things were exactly how they stood after that particular scene. Neither did Christie not opt to go, neither. I thought that was a potential plot point which could have been utilized well also, but it did not happen. And the entire first act, oscillates between two airports, and that for me was weak writing straight up, because the character of Christie in one scene again refuses to recognize the character of Roy, and in the very next scene is seeing saving him from the officials. What is going on? Why would you do that? Why would you keep things hanging? It just angered me to no amount. And it is the final act and its brain fade, may I add, that brings the overall product of the film down. I'm sorry if I'm sounding a little too harsh, but it is this was the least expected from an industry which is par excellence, the Malayalam film industry. It cannot be so substandard, the writing, especially when the story did have potential. It was just looking for its resolution, the conclusion that did not come. Coming to the technical aspects, I felt the dialogues are pretty well written. They do ring in a good vibe to the drama. The music is beautiful, excellent, and it blends beautifully with the drama. The cinematography and the color grading are the two unsung heroes of the film, and I think that is something that beautiful. If any of you can let me know what place that is, where is Poovar on in Kerala, I think it would be helpful. I really like to place these places on the map as to where they are, and if any one of you can help, please let me know in the comments. Also, I'm a beach person more than a mountain person. What are you? Are you a beach person or a mountain person? Let me know in the comment section. I'm a beach person, although I do not mind the mountains, but I can look at the sunsets for hours and hours. So anyway, coming back to the review, I felt the director Alvin Henry, he did a good job in the first two acts, but it was the resolution that was so off that I felt it brought the overall product down. And how, I'm sorry to say that the direction just lacked the bite in the final act, and it had more also to do with the writing. The writing was pretty shoddy and pretty unsure on how to proceed. I think the writers were out of ideas. I do not know what happened. It just needed a proper conclusion this way or that way. You needed to show Christie either bad or good, but not midway for the audiences to interpret as to what she was going through. Even a potential subpoint of a failed marriage, a previous failed marriage, was just not utilized. There was no character arc. So coming to the performances, I felt Malvika Mohanan looks beautiful and does a good job, but a character, as I said, Christie, it just don't have that particular arc that is required in a character. Characterization was faulty, I would say, and it's a shame because the film is named after her, and that is another fundamental flaw, as I had said. Matthew Joseph, I think he's very sincere and he's done a stupendous job. You could see the sincerity in every scene, and it breaks my heart because this superior performance came in a film that just did not end well. And so Christie basically has a good second act rather. It's a three-act structure. So the first and second act are light and breezy, very well done, but the final act is a bit of a brain fade. It suffers from a brain fade that brings the overall product down, and how I would not recommend Christie. I'm sorry. But if you watch the film, let me know your thoughts on the film in the comment section. Also, let me know what are the films that I need to check out in Malayalam. If you're liking this video, please smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, press that bell icon, share this video with your friends and family to help this community grow. Also follow me on different social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter and Letterboxd. I do not end up making a video on everything that I watch, but I do write a lot. Everything will be present on my site, Popcorn Reviews with a double S, or on my social media handles. Also, if you would like to read my full review of Christie, then the link is in the description box below on my site, Popcorn Reviews with a double S. I will see you again soon, probably tomorrow. Let's see. Until then, thank you so much for your love and support, and thank you so much for being a lovely audience. Cheers.